Okay, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Suzanne, I'm the Chief Executive of Guild Care. They do wheel me out for a number of occasions, but actually this is a very personal occasion for me, and I'll tell you a bit about it in a minute. But we're all here today to actually launch our wonderful new minibus. Now this minibus has been provided to us through a grant that we received from something called the Social Enterprise Investment Fund, which is a government grant scheme, and that fund helped us to develop Linfield House here to have a community resource to allow people to come in during the day to actually use our facilities and spend time with people that they know and enjoy being with. But also, as part of that work, we asked for a minibus because we knew that most people to come into this building would actually need a minibus to help them, and we didn't have any more capacity in the buses we already had. So it was really great to get that funding. But also, at the same time, and the reason why I know most of you are here today, is because we always name our minibuses. And this minibus, when we looked around to think about what name we might like to give it, there was only one name that came to mind, and that was to actually name it after what was a really wonderful man and a really wonderful volunteer for Guild Care. Now, the reason I wanted to personally come and just say a few words today was because I first met Brian 15 years ago now, when I was working and running in the transport department for Guild Care. And I was fairly new to the job, and Brian turned up when I desperately needed volunteers to drive the minibuses, and not only just volunteers who were willing to do it occasionally, but Brian was one of those volunteers that was willing to do it really often. He used to turn up most days if I gave him a ring, and he was just such a wonderful man. And he came just after he'd had his first liver transplant, and he was a well man at the time, and I know he went on to do around 15 years of work for Guild Care before he retired 18 months ago approximately, yes. And during that time I don't think anybody was ever let down by Brian. He always turned up regularly. And everybody here who's here, and lots of members of family, I know really miss him, but we all really miss him at Guild Care. We missed him the day he retired, let alone when he passed away. So we're really pleased to be able to name this bus after him. We've named it Francis rather than Brian. We thought Francis was probably a nicer name for a bus, so we hope that's all right with you all. Yeah. Now, I didn't work with Brian I only really worked with Brian for about 18 months, but there were lots of managers that did work with Brian over the years, and I know every one of them really valued him. But probably the person who worked the longest with Brian was Caroline Winton, who I'm sure you'll remember was our transport manager a few years ago. But Caroline couldn't be here today, but she has sent a very special message, and she just wanted to say that Brian was the most wonderful and positive man that she'd ever met. She felt his outlook on life was truly amazing, and that he would always go the extra mile for her. So I think that's just testimony to the kind of person that Brian was. So if you've all got a cup of tea, I think it'd probably be a good time to raise your cup of tea to Brian and say thank you so much, and we'll miss you terribly. You'd like to just give us a little something? Yeah. Do you want to say something?
Yes, I'd like to thank you all for giving my husband this honour. And my friend has this space, so he's got his
in case you didn't hear that, Jean's friends have made a special key ring to attach to the keys of Brian's bus, and it actually says Francis, and it's got his today's date on it, so that's going to be lovely. And we will have tea and cake, and I'm sure you'd like to share a few fond memories of Brian before you go home. But before we do that, we would actually like to cut the ribbon to officially launch the bus. And so anybody who would like to come out and see that being done is welcome to. It is in the car park, so we'll just make sure that the car park's safe for everybody to go out there and do that. Perhaps somebody could stand at the front end and stop anybody coming in. So, do you feel free to come outside and cut the ribbon?
Yes.
Whichever one you like.
Are you sure?
We're in here. We're here. And this is it. Slice the main price. If we shank it, we'll take the top off.
Do you want to cut it on that and then we'll take the transport team afterwards?
Yes, that's absolutely fine. Okay. So you're now going to cut the ribbon. Yeah. Okay, we're cutting the ribbon now. Ribbon cutting. 3, 2, 1.
It's a shame his old mate Bob Mellish couldn't come. He was the other driver on that day. Right. Tuesday. Yeah. He couldn't get hold of him.
Okay. If everyone looking this way, that's okay. One more. Lovely. Thank you very, very much. Right. Okay. Well done.
Can you imagine if you would have said,
All of that. Yeah. Never mind.
This is